I recently finished a book, and it was titled The Intense Reality of Eternity, Heaven, Hell, and That Other Place. And the author had researched near-death experiences, and so we call them NDEs, near-death experiences, hundreds of them. And he categorized them into, these out-of-body experiences that people had when they died temporarily. So they maybe had a drowning accident and they were declared dead for 20 minutes and they came back to life, or an automobile accident and something similar to that, or on emergency in the hospital, they die on the operating table and they come back an hour later, or some even a day or more, wake up in the morgue, and it's their experience while they were, a spiritual experience they had either in heaven, hell, or purgatory. And the stories were incredibly similar, no matter who it was that was having this. For instance, in the heaven section, whether it was a child or an older adult, whether it was an atheist or a Catholic or a Christian or some other denomination, when they encountered Jesus, they had this incredible, intense reality of peace with him, even to the point where Jesus is reviewing their life story with them, the good and the bad. They have the courage to go through and discuss the darkest parts, the most sinful parts of their lives with Jesus, because the intense peace that he has gives them, and the consolation he gives them when he's with them. So really an interesting book with these, and there's very little editing. It's just these people's stories, one after another, and almost 400 pages of it. And anyway, so peace is something that God gives us, and it's immeasurable. It's something that we all desire, something we all want. And when we taste it, it's something that we want more of. You can't get enough of God's peace when it comes. So the peace of God is an incredible gift, and it's incredible grace. So grace is what the stuff of the Trinity is made of, which he gives us, which is this peace. Now our readings are all about the shepherd and shepherds. The first reading from Hebrews is about the great shepherd who God raised up, Jesus, right? And our responsorial psalm was, "The Lord is my shepherd, there's nothing I shall want." Psalm 23, we're all real familiar with that one. And then in our gospel, the apostles are coming back from one of their missions, and a lot of people are following them as well as people following Jesus. It's really crowded. They hop in the boat, and they sail down the shoreline of the Lake of Galilee to get away from the crowd. And as they approach the shoreline where they were headed, there's another huge crowd forming. And Jesus says they're like sheep without a shepherd. And he goes and he ministers to them. Now, sheep are at peace when they're with the shepherd, because the shepherd feeds them and he protects them from evil and harm. And the same is true with us when we're with our shepherd, when we're with the Lord. We're at peace. Now, one thing about, excuse me here. And even though these passages all talk about the shepherd, the takeaway from the passages is peace. The incredible peace that we have when we listen to God, when we trust in God, and when we follow Jesus. And so I think today we should follow the advice given to us by the author of Hebrews in today's first reading. It says we should pray always and thank God with our lips for the peace that he gives us. And the other thing, piece of advice is that we should be good to others. We should share, give some of what we have to others, so that we too can bring the peace of God to those around us.